go.
Okay, so the way I'm going to explain the heart, first of all, make sure that you guys know which side is the front, which side is the back. Okay, the front looks smoother, okay, than the back. The back, you see the bottom part is smooth, but then you see all this kind of, some of them even go lower, okay, so like you see all the vessels and stuff. Okay, so as you all probably know, we have the 4 chambers, okay, so we got 2 atrium or atria, the right and left, okay, so right and left, and then the ventricles also, the right and left, okay. When the blood is basically going through the circulatory system and it passes through the heart, it first enters into the right atrium, okay, and it does so by coming in through the superior vena cava and the inferior vena cava, okay, so this one. I'll probably find it for you guys in the test, but basically is the 2 holes that are in the right atrium, okay, so there we go, you see, they're both connected, so superior and inferior, okay. The atrium looks like a mushroom, okay. Atria don't have any muscle like in the ventricles. The ventricles you see there's actual muscle, okay. The atria don't have any, so the atria is just flimsy walls like this, okay. There's no muscle, like, see, ventricle starts right there, atrium starts right here, so like nothing, okay. Okay, so the blood goes into the right atrium through the superior vena cava and inferior vena cava, okay, goes through the tricuspid valve, okay, which is this flap. I just took it out. I took out a piece of it, but this one, okay. So this one right here, that's the tricuspid valve, okay. So there's 2 main valves that separate atrium from ventricle, okay. On the right side is the tricuspid, okay, right side tricuspid. On the left side we have the bicuspid, okay. So this one, this is a clear example of how a valve looks like, okay. So this whole thing, there, this whole thing is the bicuspid valve, all right. Okay, so as I was saying, blood comes in from the right atrium through the tricuspid valve into the right ventricle, okay. You can see the right ventricle is a lot smaller, okay, because it doesn't need that much force to pump out to the lungs, okay. Then when the right ventricle contracts, it ejects the blood out through the pulmonary artery, which is this one. It's always at the front of the heart and it's cut, okay. So that's one right here, 1, 2, is basically the pulmonary artery, okay. And there's also a valve that is preventing backflow from the artery to the right ventricle, which is called semilunar or pulmonary valve, okay. And it's this one right here, is this little flap. Okay, so all the valves are flappy and they're connective tissue, okay. Everybody see? So the semilunar or pulmonary valve. Then it goes out into the lungs and then comes back into the left atrium. It's this one right here, this other mushroom, okay. You don't need to know the vessel that it comes in or the pulmonary vein, you don't need to know, all right. So then it goes from here, which is the left atrium, okay, goes through the bicuspid where it's like the bicuspid valve, okay. Then it goes into the left ventricle, okay. From the left ventricle, it pumps blood out to the body and it goes to the aorta, which is right there. Like, I mean, if I ask you guys, obviously I'll put one of these ones through, and you'll know which one it is. So it's the only hole that is coming out from the left ventricle. Okay. Now, two more things that you need to know. One is these little strings in here. The strings are called the chordae tendineae, okay, which are holding the valves from kind of shifting up to the ventricle, sorry, the atrium, with the pressure, and those strings are being attached to the muscle by something that is called papillary muscle, which acts sort of like the bolts, okay, like the bolts of those strings attaching it to the actual ventricles. Okay, you can see them; they're like pretty white.
What are the strings called again?
The strings are called chordae tendineae.
Chordae tendineae?
Chordae, yeah, chordae tendineae. Hold it on there. This should be on your list.
Okay.
And then the papillary muscle is this white thing. Basically the white thing that is at the very base of those strings. Okay.
On both sides?
On wherever you find the strings.
So like here and here?
Not here, because this is the actual veil. So like here, at the base. So that's the base, like at the very bottom. Okay. Like, I mean, if you guys are gonna, like, when you guys get your hearts, touch them, they feel kind of harder. Okay. And that's pretty much it for the heart. Any questions about the heart? No? Okay. Brain is pretty plain and simple. You guys remember your the areas of the head with the skull bones and all that. Okay, so we have the frontal area.
Oh yeah.
Alright, the parietal area, we have the temporal area, and we got the occipital area, all this thing. Okay? Now, from there, turn it around. You guys need to know a few structures, okay? So the first one here is the thalamus, this little circle right here. This other structure that kind of looks like an ear is the corpus callosum. Okay. The midbrain, basically if I grab the whole hemisphere and if I grab the cerebellum, the thing in between, that's the midbrain. Okay, whatever you can actually see right now. Alright, midbrain. This whole thing is the cerebellum. Okay, the entire thing. These branches that you see on the cerebellum, that's the arbor vitae, or the tree of life. Okay. Then once we come below the midbrain, you see a bump here. That bump is the pons. Okay. And then the next section here, all the way up to here, is the medulla. From here to there, about. And then the spinal cord. But I don't think you need to know the spinal cord. But whatever, it's easy to know. And that's it for the brain.